I have been a keen observer, an occasional participant, and a critic of government for more than 45 years now. I started late. I've known every mayor of the city of Vancouver and every premier of the province of British Columbia for 4 decades now. And of course, I have followed the news around the world all of my life. Now in my 70s, I confess I've come full circle. I live happily in the knowledge that my beliefs about politics and politicians and governments of every stripe are completely and totally adolescent. I have an almost universal disdain for all of them, just as I did when I was 16. This is not to say that there aren't a few good men and women in government, but in my estimation they must be terribly lonely souls, surrounded as they are by scores of self-serving, thieving, lying, cheating, near felons. The first interest of all politicians, of course, is election, followed swiftly by re-election. So you may bring your local official some concern about crime or water rights or hospital beds, but he or she will respond only to the degree that your issue will help this sucker at the polls. Every human consideration gets quickly parsed into how it may or may not fit a strategy or party goal. The fact that your uncle's life or your daughter's career may be at stake is not in the politician's wheelhouse. He or she is obsessed always with only one question. Hey, buddy, will this get me elected? Make no mistake, all politicians are charming. They may or may not approach sincerity, or they may be psychopaths. Who can tell? But their entire job is to sweep you off your feet. I cannot tell you how many political leaders have slapped me on the back and promised their undying support for some program or other that I've been espousing at the moment, and then they disappear, never to be heard from again. Pretty much the moment I leave their offices, elated with the knowledge that, yes, finally help is on the way. Ha! And what about the institutions of government themselves? Citizens in every jurisdiction in the land should be heartily encouraged to visit their local, provincial, state, national governments, roam the halls, peek in the countless offices, add up the desks, the cell phones, the fax machines, the secretaries, the paperwork, the computers, offices, entire blocks of buildings leased or owned by you, the taxpayer, and then ask yourself, what exactly are we getting from all of this? We have departments in some levels of government that have no business being there in the first place. Health, for example, that's a national or provincial or state matter. Then why do municipal governments have social service, social planning, mental health and addictions department when they have zero jurisdiction over these concerns and very little knowledge or expertise? All governments are bloated by a factor of at least 50%. The basics of infrastructure, police, fire, health, education, all of these suffer because of the 1,001 other busybody activities in which our governments indulge themselves. And the elected and their minions are collecting monies, legal and otherwise, at a back-breaking rate. Pickle. Governments and the people who run them are largely corrupt and incompetent.